Well, this is not going to be your typical podcast episode, but anyways, this is once again Jay Remy, aka the Lone Observer, and this is going to be the 10th episode of Spiritual Empowerment, Personal Sovereignty, a podcast series that is here to help empower you and help you rediscover your personal sovereignty, which is a birthright that has been hidden from you by the powers that shouldn't be. The purpose of this podcast is to inspire you to go out and make a difference in the world and in your life as well. I'm not going to go through the trouble of actually listing the names of my website and my YouTube page. Is always in the description of each episode. And if you're watching it on YouTube, the website name where I post my articles is on, or essays I like to call them, or writings, is in the description. I'm not going to go through the trouble today. I mean, no one gives a shit about those websites anyway, so why should I bother? Anyways, this episode originally today, or this evening, was going to be about discernment, and the fact there's a huge lack of it in the alternative spiritual community. I was going to get into that, but today things are going to be a little different because I need to be honest about where my mind is at right now and how along with the future of this podcast series. Now, this podcast series is going to keep going. That's the good news, you know. I mean, I'm not going to quit. I'm never going to quit, despite the fact that I don't necessarily enjoy doing this. I'm doing it out of more obligation, you know, because of the fact that if you see bad things that are going on around you, you see tyranny, you see evil, you have to speak out against it, no matter how scary it may be or how uncomfortable it is and how controversial you may be. Because this podcast series is all about me being controversial when it comes to do what I have to do. But anyways, like I said, this episode is not going to be typical. It's just going to be about, this is about having an honest assessment about this reality around us, what is going on the spiritual level, and where I am at mentally right now. And I'm going to get into the part about me. Right now, I'm just going to probably slow down a little bit because normally I've been posting podcast episodes every 2-3 days. But it's gotten to the point where I feel like I kind of feel silly. I kind of feel maybe it's the lack of support I have right now. I know this is a new podcast series. It's almost 1 month old. But it's just I feel so silly doing what I'm doing right now because I don't currently really have I don't have an audience, but I'm doing this because of the fact that this will pick up and I'll get an audience eventually. Great. But like I said, that's not really necessarily it's more to do with the fact that I'm just going to slow down a bit right now because I just been going through these intense feelings of just not wanting to bother with this world in general. It's just I have such a I'm becoming more and more detached from this world. You see the drama around you becoming more ridiculous as the days go on, especially when you become more aware spiritually of how this reality works and the fact that this reality is just some kind of really badly manipulated hologram. It's just one of the worst dramas out there. This planet is one of the worst dramas out there. And before I go further, to all the people out there who are tuning in, listening, and expecting some happy-go-lucky stuff, this is the wrong podcast series. I'm just a real, in-your-face, transparent person. I'm going to call things out for what they are. And that's one of the main reasons why this series is unpopular. Because this is not about making you feel good. I don't teach that stuff. I teach people how to actually take back their own power so they can go out and make a difference in the world and they can help change and heal this planet and themselves. But anyways, like I said, that's being said, in other words, let's get back to how I mentally feel right now. It's just lately, the combination of, the hot weather we just been through, thank goodness that it's pretty much over for now. Me having a hard time sleeping at night. I wake up. Last night, I went to bed 3 in the morning, this morning I went to bed 3 in the morning. I woke up, it was 5 in the morning. I was looking at the clock, I'm thinking, no way. And I looked outside, I'm thinking, no way. Because of the fact that outside, it's bright. It is bright. Sky's lit up like it's, I don't know. It's just one thing I hate about summer is the fact that in the area I live in, the sun is out. It's 5 in the morning, the sun's out. I'm thinking, come on. I want to go back to sleep. I'm not ready to get up. I have no reason to be up this early. I have nothing better. I don't have anything better to do this early in the morning, you know? So it's just I wake up in the morning. Have all this energy. I'm all, yeah. And it doesn't help that I got trains that come through here. But like I said, that wake me up too sometimes. But that's not the point. The point is that I've been waking up a lot lately. In the summer sun doesn't help because the sun is so freaking bright in the morning time. And I just have all this energy when I get up, though. Though I do end up going back to sleep, but I'm all, oh, I'm up. And at the same time, I'm thinking, oh, it's too early to be up. It's 5 in the morning, but it looks like it's 8 o'clock outside. And it's just, yeah, like I said, this podcast episode is just going to be about me just, like I said, me talking about these stuff. But anyways, back to how I feel. And right now, I've just been having these strong, intense emotions of just not wanting to be here, wanting to be elsewhere. The strong, intense emotions of just being fed up with everything. That's another thing right now I'm dealing with, and it makes it really hard for me to do this podcast series. The fact that I just get this feelings of people thinking, well, no one cares about you, no one cares about what you do, so why do it? You know? And the fact that you're really controversial about what you do, you're not popular. It's not like I want to be popular. I don't like to be the center of attention. I put it this way, like I said, if it gets to the point where it's just maybe what 10 people listening on a regular basis, 10 people or something like that. I have an audience of 10, 20 people, and they're listening onto this on a basis. And they're actually being inspired by what I'm saying and what I talk about. Then that will make me happy. I'm not looking for a huge following because of the fact that I don't care. I don't want to be popular. I'm not trying to cater to anyone. I'm very transparent, and I'm real and in your face. That's going to piss a lot of people off because a lot of people are very sensitive and high-strung. You know what I mean? People's feelings are easily hurt. You know? I'm not necessarily the most thick-skinned guy in the world, but I tell you what, I'm not easily offended by mere words or how someone approaches certain things. People, sometimes when you're harsh about something, you got to be harsh about something. It's not like we were doing it for the sake of being mean. It's because of the fact that people sometimes need a jolt. They need to shake up. Someone needs to throw some cold water in their face and tell them, look, you need to turn it around. Because right now, like I said, I've been going on a lot of these intense emotions of just not wanting to bother with this world and reality, especially knowing that this reality is not what you want it to be. It's because of the fact that this is a co-creation. That's not even yours. It's actually everybody's a part of it. And you're thinking, well, and this kind of is bad. But anyways, yeah, it's just like I said, it's been hard to do this podcast series lately because, like I said, I've been having a hard time and even wanting to do videos or write any articles for my website. I hadn't written any articles for my website for a while because no one visits it at the time. So yeah, I got to go out there and market my stuff, blah blah blah. But long story short is, asking an introvert to market is like asking a monkey to go use to actually use a computer. I mean, come on. I mean, introverts in marketing. Oh no, you hate marketing, don't you? You hate having a network, not marketing, but networking. I don't want to turn into some attention clickbait whore. That's not what integrity is all about. Like I said, one of the foundations of my work I have to talk about is truth, integrity, sovereignty. Truth, integrity, sovereignty. Or more so, truth, and sovereignty, integrity, whatever. And if you take a look at integrity, I'm not here to actually try to grab anyone's attention in a way that's so clickbaity or I don't know. It's just trying to grab someone's attention, but it's not really what you think it is, or try to exaggerate what I'm talking about. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be real no matter what, because I don't buy into fakeness, because it's another part of this matrix construct, fakeness, to make you fit into a system. Sorry about that. To make you fit into a system that is there to enslave you, ultimately, to make you act like. Because of the fact that if you're not yourself, then you're living a lie. You actually are Where's the integrity of not being yourself? Because of the fact that people fear of not having friends, or they fear offending people. Let me tell you something. We need to get out of this politically correct mindset of, oh, I don't want to offend that guy over there. It's not. We understand something, that when you say something and mean it, you got to be honest. Sorry about that. Regardless of what anyone thinks of you. Well, that's one of the main reasons why I am where I am in my life right now. To be honest with you, that's the downside of it. Being alone all the time, having to fight all your battles by yourself. You have no one backing you up. You're all by yourself. You're taking on the world because of the fact that you don't bow to anyone. You don't pander to anyone. You don't kiss anyone's ass. Or you don't please, and you're not a people pleaser. That's what makes it so hard to do this, because in fact you live in a reality where fakeness is appreciated, and how there's no respect for people out there who are honest, regardless of how controversial that honesty is. Okay, what else? Anyways, I something else I've come to realize, that we cannot change this world in the current conditions right now. As you know, the system around you is collapsing, it's falling apart. If you're paying close attention to what's going on that the mainstream media isn't going to tell you, the system is on its way out. I don't need to get into the details, because anyone who knows what I'm talking about knows what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go out and do your research, because there's a lot of people who live in a bubble who don't have no clue what's going on. What I'm trying to say is that this system's on its way out, and look how people are reacting. Look how people want to cling on so hard to this dying system of enslavement. People are clinging on so hard to it. It is actually pretty sad to watch and frustrating, because you're thinking, man, people are so caught up in this illusion, so caught up in Maya, so caught up in it, because of the fact they have been bought because of the powers that ship me that fed them a bunch of lies that are there to actually hide who you really are on a spiritual level. Because if everybody knew who they are on a spiritual level, they would very likely will not be buying into this nonsense, these systems of enslavement and limitation. Because that's all people care about. They want to cling on to these systems of limitation and enslavement because of the fact they get a certain sense of comfort out of it. Why is it that people are more worried about their comfort than actual true freedom? What? Because of the fact that true freedom, guess what? It involves you taking personal responsibility and exercising your self-ownership, which is the price to pay for God-given free will. And which is what a lot of people don't want to hear. They want someone else to take care of them, even if it means being enslaved. Because guess what? Asking someone else to take care of you is essentially the same as asking them to put your life in their hands. And people will come and complain about the fact that these people are controlling them or trying to control them. That's why the world's in the state it is now. We got over, 7 billion people on this planet. And in the current state of things, humanity needs to actually change itself from the bottom up. And right now, it's got me thinking. It's got me thinking, man, what can I do to try to encourage people to help themselves from the bottom up? To start to just do self-healing on themselves. Because of the fact that the reason why things are the way they are now is because of the fact that humanity completely has no understanding of the real law of attraction, which is knowing universal law, or more so natural law. And if you want to know what about that stuff, you got to listen to my past podcast. Go look and listen to my past podcasts, some of my YouTube videos where I talk about this. Or better, go to my webpage. I have an article there about it. Universal law and the critical importance of it, if you want more details about what that's all about. But people are just completely so ignorant and so clueless and so indoctrinated, so mind-controlled. It's like trying to navigate navigate a bunch of wires inside of a jungle of wires. And it's so overwhelming. That's what makes me why I feel so silly doing this work, which is one of the main reasons why I've been hesitant to doing it over the last few days. Because I feel so silly. It's like I'm playing it's like I'm being joked on by this reality in front of me. I've come to realize that, like I said, that humanity has to heal. And unfortunately, the conditions are not ripe enough. I'm not saying that we can't start healing now. It's very possible, but most of humanity is have all these mindsets. And one of the biggest one is victim consciousness, or the whole idea of victim blaming, or actually becoming addicted to their own victim mentality, or using their mental mentality as an excuse, to actually not do anything to change themselves, and thus help change the world. Thus keeping them in this, unfortunately, that the fact they refuse to change themselves is the reason why they continue to want someone else to take care of them, which, like I said, is enslavement. Which is why a lot of people don't have no sense of self-ownership, or don't even literally believe in the idea. Yeah, it's not even about belief, because self-ownership is real. It's inherent in nature. It's given to us by the creator of all, source, whoever you want to call it. This free will to create and actually be able to do what we want, as long as we're not harming another individual. But no, collectively, it brings people like me and other people down. Yes, we can go out there and help create and manifest and shape this reality, but at the same time, if you're trying to influence the collective consciousness, then it becomes a numbers game, essentially. Because your little old you alone is going to have a very tough time doing something. But one person can indeed actually go and make a difference out in the world. I've seen it with many people out there. And they have actually went out there and made a difference. It may have been something small, but it's been something significant. And it actually leads to bigger things in the future. So, like I said, little old you can go out and make a difference. And that's something I have to be reminded of, because sometimes I forget that, to be honest with you. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. I got so many mental things I go through right now. Like I said right now, there's so many things, so many issues with myself. I am far from perfect. And it's not even about perfection. For me, it's about actually personal fulfillment and happiness on an internal level, spiritual happiness. That's what it's about for me. I don't care about quote-unquote perfection. I care about just conquering my own issues and be able to do what I do effectively. That's all I care about at this time. But like I said, humanity, there's no way that humanity is going to get out of this condition in the current state of things right now. There's no way. Humanity thinks they can actually get out of this by using this very same enslavement system that has enslaved us for this long. They want to turn it to something that's for the people, but it's a joke. You can't turn a system of enslavement into something that's for the people. People have tried it so many times, and look where we are now. And a lot of people want to disagree, but I don't care about your disagreement. I'm going to ignore you, because I'm so fed up right now that I don't even want to look at people who want to argue or want a bigger fight. I'm not the type of guy. I'm going to go, yeah, whatever, have fun. Have your soapbox. I'll be over there listening to the sounds of the ocean while you run your mouth. That's how I feel. Anyways, I'm personally also am. I know this is going to contradict everything I talk about here, about this whole empowerment thing, but just be honest here. Let's be real, because I'm not naive. I'm not some young gun that's super idealistic and actually has so much optimism for humanity. Because if you see the same things I've seen with humanity, then yeah, you're going to start questioning things too. And I'm not convinced that humanity can do this on its own. I'm not saying that we need saviors. I'm not saying we need gurus. That's the last things we need, because that's going to keep us stagnant. It's going to keep us stuck, and it's also going to keep us enslaved, because there's always going to be dark forces that are going to try to manipulate that need for a daddy figure, a mommy figure, or savior, whatever. What I'm saying is that I think the only way humanity can get out of this, if there's some kind of divine, some kind of intervention that's actually not overt. I'm talking about like a covert intervention that's going to inspire humanity to wake up collectively and start to do this inner self-healing. The reason why things are the way they are now is because humanity is so broken and so ignorant of who they are. They're so caught up in this illusion, this holographic illusion. That's someone's bad joke. It's like I said, this is the worst drama ever, and I wish I could throw the script book at whoever created this drama of evil, but in negativity. But anyways, like I said, I'm not convinced humanity can do this on their own. I just don't see it happening. There's no way in hell humanity has the willpower to do it, because there's some few courageous human beings out there who have had the willpower to get out of their mindset, and I commend them. I have mad respect for those people because they have done the impossible. Like I said, humanity is under, and all the fact that humanity is under so much conditioning, indoctrination. As long as we have systems of government, religion, and all these other ideologies around and mindsets, then it's going to definitely keep humanity in the current state it is now. And like I said, it's going to probably take some kind of intervention that's subtle, that's actually gentle, but at the same time firm, and actually and it will put a lot of pressure on people to actually make the change or not. If you don't make the change, you'll be left out in the dust. And the good news is that time may be coming soon, because of the fact that, like I said, this system is collapsing. If you haven't been paying attention, the system has been collapsing. This collapse has been on slow motion, but things have sped up a little bit. But right now, it's like I said, slow motion right now. But who knows when that slow motion is going to speed up more and more and more and more, like a snowball. And I'm just being honest. That's one of the main reasons why, like I said, I've been hesitant lately to do anything or even actually do anything related to videos or podcasts. I just wish people can just take personal responsibility for themselves and stop blaming things on other people. I understand that there is such thing as blame, but at the same time, people use blame as an excuse to not do anything to make a difference or make a change in this world. They want to blame on someone and say, oh, I'm not going to do it because of this, or I'm not going to do it because this happened to me in the past. We need to get over this because I'm telling you, you're better than this. You're not your past. See, that's the thing. You're not your past. You're not even your present, and you're not even your future. You are what you are. You do the things you've gone through, good or bad, the things you've done to other people, good or bad. Don't let that define you. Let what you are, your inner essence, define you. Your drive, the real drive for you to actually get out of get out of the fog and the darkness that you're in right now. That's what I'm saying. Don't be defined by your past, your present, or even what you think your future will be. That's what I always say. And like I said, and another thing about free will is that what use is it if most people don't even want to take personal responsibility for maintaining that free will? I keep saying the price to pay for it is personal responsibility and self-ownership. A lot of people have been conditioned to believe in that someone else has to take care of them, thanks to this social-economic paradigm, thanks to government and religion, condition them thinking that, no, we do this, you mind your own business. You go about your life. Anyways, this brings me into another topic that I find to be twisted in a sick way. How the topic of empowerment is not even popular. It's a very unpopular topic. People who actually talk about solutions and talk about making it and giving you ideas and tips into empowering yourself and go out and make a difference. You don't see these people really get a whole lot of views or a lot of attention at all. Most people want to spend most of their attention on all the drama that's going on, all these personalities that want to tell them that, this event's gonna save them, that these aliens are gonna come save us, or some savior or guru, or people out there who actually want to play the guru and want people to follow them and actually have them be the answer to everything in their life. Those people are really popular. Or if I actually said, or if I'm a channeler and I claim I channel someone like Jesus or an ascended master, people want to hear from those people, but it gets to allegedly, because who knows what they're really channeling. And when I do talk about discernment in the next podcast, I'm going to get into the whole channeling thing. And a lot of people aren't going to like it because of the fact that a lot of the channelings out there are, quite frankly, not what you think they are. I'm not saying that that channeling's not real, but I'm saying there's a lot of manipulation going on with channeling. And a lot of the beings that a lot of people think they're talking to are not who they think they really are. But anyways, like I said, if I did things like that, or if I talked about drama or negative things or all the bad things going on in the world on a consistent basis, and everybody is going to flock to me like it's nothing. Because a lot of people don't want to hear about things that involve empowerment or even educating yourself as well. Most things are not popular. People actually want to turn this into entertainment. It gets to a point where a lot of people actually hit that wall, where they start thinking, okay, I'm discovering all these things about this reality I didn't know about, and all these shocking things, and the fact that I've been lied to. Then people hit that wall, and they don't want to go further. They want to climb further up that mountain, which involves learning and empowering yourself with that knowledge. Anyways, like I said, I don't know when the next podcast is going to be. I'm not sure. I'm not going to give any days or dates because right now I have to I don't know. I'm just going to just be me right now. Because right now I feel like what I'm doing is not worth it, to be quite honest. But like I said, I'm going to continue doing it regardless of how I feel. Regardless of how crappy I feel about doing it. That's what I want to talk about. And that is it for this evening. That's the end of the podcast. Like I said, the next podcast is going to be about the lack of discernment with people in the alternative spiritual community and how it's really, really frustrating yet disheartening to see. And I'm going to get into the fact that, I keep saying, where the hell is the cynicism? But especially with a lot of these people who are older than me. Where's the cynicism? And then again, I guess that's something cynicism you expect. You expect more out of someone who's more left-brained, I guess, versus people who are more airy-fairy and optimistic and happy all the time. Probably because of the fact that they hadn't had so many disappointments in life, like me and other people had. And we actually think, oh, come on, this has got to be some kind of BS. When we see something, or it's too good to be true, then it's too good to be true, because it's usually like that. I guess because of the fact they hadn't been through so many disappointments, or I don't know, they just don't think deeply enough to connect dots and think, in the past, you've been tricked and duped. And you think this is going to be different this time? That's the mindset. They think, oh, it's going to be different this time. It's going to be different this time. The fact that a lot of people keep falling for the same bullshit. I see it all the time. People still actually think that there's going to be mass arrests or there's going to be some magic changes where everyone doesn't have to do nothing, that the world's just going to change right before your eyes. You don't have to do anything. No self-healing required. Oh, none of that. Just kick back and let us do the work. So people still believe in all this fantasy nonsense. That's never going to happen. Because, like they say, we're the ones we're waiting for. We're the ones that we're waiting for. And I just want people to know that before I actually leave. And that's all for today. This is the Lone Observer, and check out my stuff on YouTube, Blog Talk, because I post my episodes on both Blog Talk and YouTube, and my WordPress blog, which is always in the description of my podcast or the YouTube page. So that's it for right now.